Hey y'all, it's Ginger. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing some press-on nails. This is what I am currently wearing. It's a gel polish manicure. It's very grown out, couple weeks, and my poor index finger always seems to look like that. So I have today the Stay Pressed by Twinkled T press-on nails. So I've seen these all over Instagram and they talk about how great quality these are and how fantastic the glue is. So we are going to put these to the test, guys. So it's got all the instructions on the back here on how to apply them. But before we do that, I need to remove what I currently have on. So I'm going to soak off this gel polish manicure. And look at that transition. So professional. So I soaked off all of my gel polish and they're looking a bit dry, but you'll have that with the acetone. So let's open this box up and see what all is provided in this press-on kit. So I was very impressed by the packaging on this, and the price point is super affordable. So highly recommend so far. We're gonna pop these open here. And in the front, you got like your little display nails all sandwiched in there nice and tight with your glue. This is their glue that they rave about. And the glue I usually use for my press-ons is the IBD 5-second glue. It's a brush-on glue. I also use this to glue on any nail tips that I might use. It works really well and I get 2 to 3 weeks wear out of my press-ons, but we're gonna use the Twinkled T glue today and give it a good wear test. So right on top here, you got your little press-ons, and I'm just gonna check and see if the length of my nails is okay or if I'm gonna have to shorten them. And it looks like they're gonna be fine. I like to keep the free edge of my nail. Some people prefer to file it back all the way, which is totally fine. It's just personal preference, but I find by leaving the length, I get a better adhesion because you have more of your nail surface connected to more of the press-on surface. Hopefully that makes sense. I just find that it doesn't seem to want to lift as easy that way. So, okay. Rest of the stuff in the kit here, we got the rest of our press-on nails. And then we have a little file. Now, what they did not include in this kit is like a little orange wood stick. So you could probably use the file to push back the skin on your nails, but I prefer to use like an orange wood stick or a cuticle pusher if you have that on hand. So you definitely want to make sure you're pushing that skin back to expose any like cuticle or dead skin on the nail plate. You've got to get that off or you are going to have lifting issues. So mine isn't too bad because I just soaked off a gel polish manicure and you know, my nails get messed with a lot, so I have a lot to push back. So you can take your little file here and you want to remove any of that dead skin off of the nail plate. Just gently going around all the sides. Then you're going to want to take your file and rough over the whole surface of your nail. You need to remove all of that natural shine completely. To give the best adhesion. That's the same for any kind of nail enhancement, acrylics, gel, anything. Press-ons are the same. And at this point, you can also shorten your nails if you'd like or change the shape. Like I said, I'm going to keep mine longer. They're growing out quite nicely. So after you're done with your prep, you want to take like a lint-free wipe or a paper towel. Paper towels work fine. And cleanse off the nail plate. You can use some alcohol to do this. I like to have some acetone as well. This really helps to dehydrate the nail plate and make sure it removes any oils or anything that might be on it. And once you're finished prepping your nails, don't touch them with your fingertips because you don't want to add any oil back onto the nails. Okay, so I finished prepping the rest of my nails. Now it's time to fit them. You want to make sure that the nail tip or the press-on fits sidewall to sidewall. You don't want to have to push really hard down on the nail to get it to fit from sidewall to sidewall. If you feel like you're squeezing it down to make it fit, it's going to pop off. So definitely make sure it fits sidewall to sidewall. And you can also take this a step further and prep the inside of your tips. by taking a little bit of acetone on a paper towel and just kind of rubbing that into the nail. And that will give it a little bit of grit. This is the only nail I did that to on the thumbnail. I didn't do that to the rest of them. You can also use your e-file to do this as well and kind of rough them up just a bit. But like I said, I didn't do it to any of the rest of them. And spoiler alert, I didn't have any issues. So you can do that if you're having problems keeping them on. I think that will help a little bit more, but for me personally, didn't find it super necessary. So once you're fitted, you want to lay out all your tips and have them ready. Open up your glue, and then you're going to apply the glue to your nail and also to the press-on nail. Now there's a little bit of a learning curve when you're applying your glue to like not get too much glue because it kind of will squish out a little bit, but after a few press-on nails, you'll kind of get the gist of it. So you want to start back by your cuticle area and push forward towards your free edge, and then give it a really good squeeze, making sure that the press-on tip is touching as much of your natural nail as it possibly can, give you the best adhesion possible, and just kind of hold it for a few seconds. Make sure it's on there really good. And then if you need a little extra added insurance, if you're leaving your nails a bit longer like I am, you can take your glue and put just a little bit where your free edge meets that press on underneath. And that'll kind of seal it in, and that'll help keep any water or anything from getting up under there. And let's not talk about how crooked I applied that middle finger. We're gonna talk about the ring finger. So my nails were just a little bit wider than they needed to be at the free edge for this particular shape of press on, because these are coffin. So I noticed that after I put it on. So I'm just gonna take my file and kind of file my natural nail a little bit to line up with that press on. There we go. Super easy, no biggie. And then you can also take and change the shape of these press-ons, file them round if you didn't like how they looked after you got them on. You can shorten them. You know, they're pretty durable and versatile that way. So if you need to, you can shorten up that free edge. And we're still not going to talk about how crooked that nail is. I'm going to blame it on my crooked finger. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple more here. Apply to the other hand. It's a lot easier to apply it to my left hand with my right hand than vice versa. So that's why I started applying it to my dominant hand with my non-dominant hand, because it's easier. Well, let's see. It's easier to apply it to my non-dominant hand with my dominant hand. So doing it with the press-ons on my non-dominant hand, putting it on my dominant hand. Anyways, it's easier this way. So you want to start by putting the press-ons onto your dominant hand. Hopefully that makes sense in there somewhere. Okay, again, you want to apply the glue to the nail and the tip, and you're going to push it from the cuticle towards the free edge and give it a really good squeeze. Hold it for a few seconds and then move on to the next one. Now I did find that I was not able to get my lid back on my glue. So this was a one-time use for me, unfortunately. But I don't know if it's designed that way or if I just broke my lid taking it off, but I I was not able to get the lid back on the glue. So, but again, you know, price point on these was really good, so not a big deal. And give it a good squeeze. And there we go. Now I did find that while I was applying these, I had just a little bit of glue seepage, and I got it on my finger. And when I was squeezing the nails on, I got some glue transferred onto the top of it, as you can kind of see here. It's not too big of a deal, but for me, I wanted to get that off. So I just took my paper towel and a little bit of acetone, and I'm just gonna rub the top of it to get that glue off. And you wanna be careful because the acetone will melt these tips. So you don't want to hold that acetone on there for a long period of time, but you can just rub it over the top of it. It doesn't dull the surface at all, it's still shiny. So just give it a good rub and get that glue off of there. So I'm happy with that. So they're all on. They're looking good. I'm liking them. I like the length a lot on these ones. I don't think I mentioned this is the Kim K set. So very pretty. I love the color. I did get bored with it kind of quickly, which I'll talk about here in a minute. So they're all on, and from soaking off my gel polish manicure, my fingers and hands and everything is super dry. So I'm going to drench them in cuticle oil, get them nice and rehydrated. And then I'm going to give these a good wear test, guys. So I'm going to come back to you in like 2.5 weeks and tell you all about the progress. So, yep, but they look so good. I love them. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to give them a good wear test, and I think they look great. They're nice and thin, but they say they're very durable. So I am going to put them to the test for you guys. Hey guys, so I am checking in with the press-ons. Wow. So it has been 2.5 weeks, pretty close to 3. And let me tell you before I show you how bad these look, I put these things through it. Let me tell you, I did not hold back, not one little bit. The exception of this one is not one of the press-ons. This I had to take off to demo for another video, but all the rest of them are the press-ons from Twinkled T, and they are all still on. So I got bored with the color. It had been over 2 weeks, or it had been over a week, and I was bored with the color because it was just really plain. It was this color. So I painted them with a regular polish, and then that started chipping. So then I painted over that with a gel top coat, which has the little gold flakes. Yeah, so I have put these things, like I said, I have not held back at all, and they are doing so good. So I use acetone a lot as a nail tech, of course. So you can see where the acetone has like melted the tip off. So this is down to my natural nail, and then this one is melted on the side here. These two don't look too bad. This hand definitely looks a lot better. So when they grow out, this is the only thing I don't like about press-ons. And when they grow out, you see how wide they look on the sidewalls here. And that's because when you fit your press-ons onto your nail, you push them down. So the inside of the press-on is touching your nail, and you want all of the surface of the press-on to touch your natural nail. That way you get really good adhesion. So it looks a little bit wide while it's growing out, but that's the only thing I don't like about press-ons. And I will also say they haven't really started catching my hair at all. So that means I know I got a really good fit on these and I sized them correctly. So yeah, they're not catching in the back, which they usually do before the 2-week mark. And that's usually when I'm ready to rip them off. So I'm ready to rip them off now for other reasons, just because they look so bad. But I've done the pop can test. I've opened, and never ever do that, guys. I've opened pop cans with the nails, and these suckers will not come off. So I know on the back of the package, which I still have, let me dig it out here. Is it? Yeah, okay. It says that you can soak them in warm water for 10 minutes until the glue loosens. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen other press-ons do that, and the water does eventually loosen that glue up, especially if you start to get that lifting back by the cuticle and the water gets in there, and you can work it to get it off. But I've done probably 6 pedicures this week alone. So I've done several pedicures while wearing these. And hot soapy water, dishes. I give my daughter a bath. I give myself a shower. These things haven't been sitting and soaking in water per se, but just the amount that I've put them through, the soak off method is not going to work with these for the soapy water. So I'm going to take them off with acetone. I'm going to show you how to do that. And this, I do believe, is the best way to remove your press-on so you're not damaging your natural nail. You definitely don't want the glue to start to loosen with the water and then be stuck in a couple places, and then you just rip that off because you're going to tear bits of your nail plate off. So we're going to soak it off with acetone. I'm going to show you how to do that, but I do want to say, Twinkled T, you have done an amazing job with your press-ons. I absolutely love them. They're extremely durable. Like, they are not going anywhere. And I promise you guys, I have put these nails through the ringer. So we're gonna take these off. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. So if you don't have an e-file, you can use a regular file. I am going to use my e-file because it's gonna make it a little quicker. But basically you wanna take your file and you wanna kind of like, you know, thin it out the best you can. That's gonna make the soak off process quicker. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'm going to show you this one without filing it, just so you can see how it soaks off. And then you want to get some foil and some cotton balls, or if you have these foil wraps, these work perfect, and 100% acetone. Okay, so let me move some things out of the way here. I'm going to use a sanding band. This is a medium or a fine grit sanding band. I believe it's a fine. And you want to score your sanding bands just like you do your files so the edge isn't sharp. So run it on your file so you don't have a sharp edge. So I'm going to, first of all and foremost, take off the extra stuff I put on, because we definitely don't want that on there. Okay, now that I have all of the extra stuff that I put on off, I'm going to see where my natural nail is, which is pretty much right at the end. Excuse me, guys. If the tip was a bit longer, I would file this back to meet my natural nail. That way we're not soaking off, you know, a whole bunch of extra that we don't need to be. We could just file that tip off. I'm actually pretty happy with the length of my natural nails. We may just put a gel polish manicure on this. See how this one is way back there? And yes, I've got gunk and stuff under there. It's color from doing nails, so it's stained color. It's not grossness, it's just color, guys, I promise. So yeah, take off the extra bit, and then you can file down a little bit on the actual press-on, being very careful because these press-ons are thin. So, but the more you can get off with your file, the less time it's going to take to soak them. So I'm going to file this a bit, and then I will demo this nail and the thumbnail to show you the difference. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Turn off the e-file. Show you real quick. Get all the dust off. There we go. You can see where I filed through that color, and you can start to see my nail bed poking through. So I don't want to file any more than that. So I'm gonna put a foil on this one and this one, and we're gonna soak them, and I'll show you how we do. I'm probably gonna let them sit for at least 10 minutes. Sometimes I get a little impatient, but 10 to 15 minutes is usually what you want to let them soak for. You want to get your foil on there nice and tight. The foil is going to help trap the heat in. The heat and the acetone together is what's going to make it soak off, and that'll make it soak off quicker. And my thumb is always hard to wrap up. There we go. Nice and tight, lots of acetone. Okay, and then I'll meet you guys back in 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. So you're gonna need some kind of tool to remove the nail with. And you can either use a little orange wood stick like this, or a tool like this. So either one will work. We'll start with this one. Oh, well, it's pretty much gone. So not much to scrape off, but a little bit. So by filing, it really, really helps. And that's pretty much it. That sucker is going. And my nail looks pretty good. And I do have thin nails naturally, so they're not the best, which is why I usually keep something on them. So you want to take your file and just kind of, you know, go over wherever there might have been a little bit of leftover glue, kind of buff that off. And then if you're not putting nails back on, definitely put a ton of cuticle oil on, because the acetone is very drying and we want to keep our nails moisturized. So under the nail, around the cuticle area, on top of the nail, the whole finger, your whole hand, just oil it up, ladies. So there's that one. Let's see what this one has done. So that one's a little stuck. So yeah, this one definitely could use a little bit more time, and it would have probably done the same thing the other one did. So when you're soaking off glue versus like acetone, it's definitely way more sticky, and that's why I absolutely loathe dip nails. I cannot stand dip nails. I don't do dip nails. I don't recommend dip nails. If you are doing a dip system, I prefer doing it with like a gel as your adhesion versus a glue, because it's just a pain to remove. So I'm actually going to soak that a little bit more, and I think it's going to come off just like this one. So that is the difference between filing and not filing. It really, really helps speed up the removal process. So I'm going to take the rest of all of my nails off, and then I'll be ready for a new set. That's it for the Twinkled T press-ons, guys. That's how you apply them. That's how you remove them. And like I said, I gave them a wear test like no other, and they are fantastic. Love them, highly recommend. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave any questions in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer those for you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it would help me out a ton. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody watching. I will see you next time. Bye.